Lynn Hayden,
Dan, my
one of my
man.
one of my favorite people
I'm back.
in the world. Certainly, probably my favorite to do a podcast with.
Thank you.
And you set up all this amazing stuff for Chris Watts when he was in town for those 2 games, and we just have not even gotten to talk about it because
Oh,
life got in the way
yes, it
for
did
both
for
of
both
us.
of us. Yep. So we haven't been on the air for 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah.
Well,
So, and I know we had to do this week because now you're having a knee replacement next week. Yeah,
Monday.
we're not
Monday.
doing any shows in the next couple of weeks.
Well, not Wednesday for sure.
No.
I maybe do my show next Friday. I don't know. It just depends on how I feel. It really depends. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play it by ear,
I'm
but
gonna
not
I'm gonna guess
Wednesday.
I'm gonna guess that you'll be like, fuck this. I'm not getting out of bed right now to go do this.
Well,
So
my friend's staying with me. She's a retired physical therapist, so she's not going to let me sit around. That's for sure. She'll probably push me down the stairs. Get going, Lynn. Tumble.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Yes, we got to talk about the Chris Watts thing.
Uh-huh.
And I do apologize to everybody. I will cough. I'm still coughing from damn COVID, so I apologize. But yes, we definitely got to get into the meat of that, all Chris Watts. And then we've got to talk about what we haven't talked about for the last 3 weeks, and that is the Chicago Bears. So you know what? Let's get this shit started, shorty.
Bears country. Where is it? You down with BCP? You down with BCP? You down with BCP?
You down with BCP?
Down with BCP?
You down with BCP?
You down with BCP?
You down with BCP?
And we gotta do my little dance down here before.
That's right.
You're the only person that dances with me. The only one that dances with me. Everybody makes fun of me. And here you are,
I always
moving along with me.
anything to put on a show.
I'd love to see you sing it.
Well, until I get my voice totally back, we'll do that. But we're back, and I know everybody missed us, right? Of
I would
course.
hope so. I would hope
Well-
people at least missed you. I mean, they get to see enough of my ugly mug.
Yeah,
So
you are out there quite a bit, but yes, we have not. It's been a while, so I'm glad to be back. See you,
it's great to see you again. I missed
Yeah.
you, my dear.
my very tall, giant friend. That when you sent me the Chris Watts pictures, when you two, I then I realized how tall you are.
Oh yeah. The whole time after I picked up Chris from the international airport section and we were taking the tram back, he was just in awe the whole time. He's like, "Damn, you're fucking tall." And it'd be like 2 minutes later, he's like, "Damn, you are tall." And a couple minutes later, "Damn, you are a big guy." I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah,
Because you can't tell, you can't tell that you're what, 5'4"? Is that what?
I'm 5'1".
Oh, I keep giving you an extra 3 inches.
I am short, so when we do meet, it's going to be pretty hysterical. So, because we've never met in person, right?
I don't think I've ever met a 5'1" person either. So that would be.
Well, you will someday. Hopefully, you will.
Oh no, we're pretty much already planning the trip to Vegas. So
Good. You come out next year, and we'll have a blast.
Yeah, and your knee will be healed by then.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. When I had some friends in town last week, and she'd never been here. We walked one day 17,000 steps. By the end of the night, I was literally dragging my right leg just behind me. I couldn't walk on it at all. And
I bet.
Well, why'd you do that? I said, because my friends were in town. I'm not going to stop.
Right.
I said, as long as I had a beer in my hand, which I did, a $20 beer because we were on the strip, I was fine, So I was like, I need another beer.
Which is sad because they used to be like $1 beers.
Well,
Used to
then
be
we
like-
went down to Fremont and it's half that, And
Yeah.
I'm like, shit,
Fremont is the original.
Right.
No, that's where you can. Well, at least I haven't been there in a while, but that was like the last place you could go get $1 hot dog, $1 full log hot dog, and $1 beer, and sit and play 25-cent blackjack.
My local casino right down the street, 5 minutes from here, still does. They have a Vienna hot dog cart in their casino, and they still only charge $1.25.
Oh, excellent.
For a full anything you want on a hot dog.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Oh yeah, yes.
We need
People
places
love
like
going there just for that.
Yeah. Jason UK is wishing you luck with your operation, Lynn, and a speedy recovery.
Thank you. I mean, I cannot wait. This has been a long year where it just when it finally gave out on me, and the pain and the ACL gone, and so thank you. I appreciate that. It's going to be a little bit, but 2024 is going to be good. I will be back. I can start working out again. I was a big walker, couldn't do it.
Mhm.
So I just got fat. So, it's like, when you're 5'1", you can't be fat. Because it doesn't go anywhere but your belly. When you're 6, 2 like you are, it's a lot different. It has a lot of places to go.
It just goes in weird spots for me though, so I have to make sure I maintain. Like I go. It's like from the hips down.
Yeah,
I have
mine just goes
Viking
right
ass,
to the belly,
Viking legs.
It sucks, but and being old don't help either, So, but what are you gonna do? But I'll tell you what, I may be 65 and had a bad knee, but I was partying down on in Vegas, and I was telling everybody about our shows. Anybody who wanted to listen, so maybe we'll.
And you're right. Per your show, you do have to get some cards made. I had some made. It's really simple. It's just
I know I got to do it, and I could have handed them out to so many people.
Yeah, I had a bunch of cards made and forgot to bring them to the games.
What? Daniel.
I brought like 10 of them to the last game, forgot to hand them out, and then I met like 10 people the previous 2 games, didn't have any on me. So it's just the law of averages.
I'm thinking about asking them for Christmas.
There you go.
So let's get to it. Well, Chris isn't on, but why don't you? So
we're hoping to have Chris Watts join us.
Right. What?
I was just saying we're hoping to have Chris Watts join us a little later. He's probably sleeping and hasn't seen the link, but I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, do you want to wait and talk about it, or should we talk about it now?
Well, let's wait a little bit until in case. So, yeah.
Well, then, Dan, let's talk. We haven't done our podcast the last 3 weeks. The Bears have won 1 game since we last talked. That was at home, Raiders.
That was the Raiders game that we were at.
Yeah, that's right. You two were at the Raiders and the Vikings game. Should have won that game too, but
yep. We were very upset about that.
When you think about it, except for the Kansas City game, right? The Bears have been in every damn game. Well, they were in the Denver game, which I'm barely going to talk about because my blood pressure goes so high after that game. But I mean, we were in it, I mean, we were in the New Orleans game until, I mean, you got to give that defense a lot of credit. 5 turnovers, and they only gave up 24 points. And really, they only gave up 7 points after those 5 turnovers. It was 17-17 when it all started to fall apart in the second half.
Yep.
Because they made adjustments on defense, and then they fooled Bagent into thinking he could make those passes to at least 2 out of 3. 1, I don't know, but the 2 for sure. They tricked him. He showed his youth for sure in that game. And he is young, and he hasn't played at this level much. So but the thing that kind of bothered me was Gatesy, who don't get it. He should have adjusted a little bit too. And maybe, I don't know, you know what, but they stick with their plan. But that New Orleans completely changed their defense in the second half.
Oh God, yeah, they changed it up entirely.
And we didn't score a point.
They were baiting him.
Oh, definitely. 100%. And he fell for it. That's what, all rookies do that.
Right. Exactly. I mean, some of the best of all time.
Peyton Manning will be the first one to tell you, and Troy Aikman.
And then you're
They'll
going to have
tell
people
you.
going, "Oh, are you comparing him to Peyton Manning?" No, I'm just
No.
saying. Like it's
It
just because he
happens.
throws 4 interceptions or 3 interceptions in the last 5 in the last 2 games, it doesn't mean he's not going to be a good quarterback. It doesn't
Right.
mean that he's just a fucking rookie. Every rookie does it. So
Right. Oh, definitely.
his arm is not as strong as Justin's,
No,
but
it's
his
not.
arm is significant enough.
Right.
If and I believe it can get stronger. I believe there are things he can work on, whether it's, I mean, he's a CrossFit machine. So I'm sure he's been working on his wrists and his forearm, things like that, like the release, because obviously he's got an excellent quick release.
Yes.
But, the touchdown pass that he threw, the first touchdown pass of the game against the Saints, a thing of beauty. It was a beautiful ball.
I couldn't believe Komet caught that. It was so good. I was like, shit, man. It really was. And it was nice to see the Bears go right down the field, first drive, boom, start out fast. Both teams played freaking fast on Sunday. I really noticed that. And the Bears kept up with them until all hell done broke loose with the turnovers, so.
And they had the Saints had like 3 possessions at the end of the game with a one score lead that the Bears had chances at.
I know. That's what I mean. I mean, and Bagent at that point. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
First off, there's a lot of people saying that his arm strength sucks. That's why he threw those interceptions. He threw the interceptions because there was coverage.
Yeah.
They were covering our guys.
Right.
And so, he was standing back in the pocket in the second half, for 3, 5 seconds, 6 seconds, and either getting sacked or throwing an interception. But that was just a rookie in him. He was trying to make something happen out of nothing.
Yes, he
doesn't have Justin Fields' speed, so he can't quite take a lot off like him. And he doesn't quite have his arm, so he can't, get himself out of trouble like Justin can.
Right.
But he has such an amazing release, and his footwork, and just the way that he processes things. He's going to his 4th, 5th read.
Football smart.
Right.
Except for those passes, but he was baited and he fell for it. Okay.
Right,
but
exactly.
He can stand. That's the one thing that pocket would start to go like this. And he's just stood in there. As soon as it starts going like this, Fields get happy feet. And then he's like, he can't make the decision. Do I throw? Do I run? What do I do? And then bang, he gets sacked.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Bagent only got sacked once. I believe that was on him. He held on to it too long. I mean, the offensive line is getting better because we're getting healthier and they're getting used to playing. So, both lines, I think, are coming, and, even the defensive line. I was shocked to learn that they were 4th in rush, stopping the rush. Remember the beginning of the season? They couldn't stop it. Yes.
I know they were 5th at one point. Now they're 4th.
Yep.
Wow.
And they're 28th in the pass. So, and
they're not worse.
And they cannot stop the short passes at all.
Right. Yeah.
Not at all. I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. That we were getting murdered by Derek Carr.
Yeah. I mean, the short screens and the passes, the Bears, somebody wrote me in my show today, a comment. He said, well, you think the defense would be good at it because that's all Gatesy runs. And I'm like, I know.
Exactly.
And they see it in practice, but yet, because our backfield, I think, is pretty solid. So, and these guys and the league knows it. So they're going for the shorter shit and we can't stop it.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting first downs, and who cares if you get 10 yards? They'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right. Of course they will.
And they'll just go down the field.
And they were stopping him at the end of the game there and still couldn't get fucking another touchdown.
I know. Well, once he threw that third one, forget it. His confidence was completely gone.
That third one I want to talk about, Jason UK saying 2 of the picks that he threw were a little behind the receiver. Yes, the third one, it was Mooney was in the slot on the left. I looked right at my wife and I said, Mooney's open on this play. And then Mooney runs out, runs a slant into the center of the field. If it was just a quick slant, it would have been open.
Catch.
Or even if it was just a little bit more timing on the slant, but not so much as the timing that he gave him before he threw the ball. So
Right.
he in that instance, Bagent did not throw Mooney open. He threw to him when he was open.
Yeah.
And I said to my wife right before, I said, Mooney's, if this ball's going to Mooney, he's going to be open right there in the middle. Boom, he should have thrown the ball. And then he kept running on he kept the slant going, and then he threw it when it was too late. And I was just like, I can't fucking believe it.
That one is totally on him. That's what I felt, that, well, they were all on him, but that's, I don't know. You know what? Everybody seemed to have a good game except for the fucking turnovers, and the penalties. The offensive line penalties. I think defense only had one penalty that game. They were all rest on the line, and one of the drives they had 3, and they ended up scoring only a field goal. But it was like they were driving penalty, back, drive back, drive back, and then
penalty.
Field goal. Yeah.
Penalty.
And they're just not good enough for that. And you can't do that. And it is, everybody had him: Braxton Jones, Whitehair, Patrick, White, Darnell White. Every one of them had one. And it was they just, and that starts with discipline. And that's on the coaches.
Yep.
And they need to, get on these guys. You saw that the tackling was so much better this week opposed to the week before, where they couldn't tackle for shit, right?
Yes.
They were terrible with the Raider game. Come on.
Sanborn is a tackling machine.
He was,
Kyle Gordon had a really nice stop, beautiful tackle.
Yes. Yes, he did.
I want to get to what the Ghost of Judah Tribe is saying. It's Bagent time, Team Bagent, Bears Civil War, and Ghost of Judah Tribe. I saw a podcast last night as I was laying in bed, just watching stuff on YouTube, getting ready to fall asleep. I came across a Bears podcast that devoted like 3 or 4 shows to you, specifically with the Ghost of Judah Tribe in the headline of the show, bashing on you for being a Bagent lover. Really? And I think that's pretty ridiculous, because these are just fucking opinions. We're all allowed to have opinions. And listen, I know what you're saying, Ghost. What you're seeing in Bagent is what I've Lynn, we haven't done a show for the last 3 weeks, but what I've kind of compared this to has been like Trump Biden, because it's like literally divided the fan base. And people have anything good to say about Bagent, including myself. I've even got my own guys on the show on my ass thinking that I don't like Justin Fields. I love Justin Fields. I made the channel based on Justin Fields getting drafted by the Bears. I didn't expect to be the bottom feeder and sitting here every week doing shows talking about a fucking perennial loser.
No
I thought Justin Fields was going to take this and run with it, become an MVP by this time this year.
Well,
but
so did everybody else.
It hasn't happened. So my eyes are telling me the same thing that the eyes of Bagent supporters such as yourself, Ghost, that the kid gets rid of the ball quick. His footwork works in perfect rhythm with his passing.
Yep.
He processes things really, really quickly.
Yes.
And he has excellent flick of his wrist that makes up for his his whatever lack of arm strength he has.
That's really his only downfall, in my opinion.
If he had a Herbert type of hose from the Chargers, or a Josh Allen type of hose for an arm, he would have been drafted. So listen, there's plenty of quarterbacks who have had excellent careers, some of them Hall of Famers, that had the exact same arm strength in their first season in the NFL.
Right.
Not saying he's going to be a Hall of Famer, just saying.
Well, you know what, you're right. And you know what? I apologize. I said the Raiders game, it was this Chargers game that the Bears couldn't tackle for shit. But you're right, though. And I talked on my show, Holmes and Bernstein really, after the first game he was in, even though he won it, were saying that and then they were saying he didn't have the arm strength. And when if you watch my show, I apologize to them, because I learned from them. When they first were saying it, I was thinking the same thing a lot of people. What do you mean? He threw a 50-yarder, and then they explained although they were a little insulting. I told them that. But that's not what they're talking about. It's about zipping it in there when the window is about this, and it's going to close. That's what makes the Peyton Mannings, Tom Brady's, those kind of guys so good. They will throw a pass at, or even, Favre and those guys that no one else can throw because they have the strength to get that ball in there.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's part of what Justin's issues are.
But
he because he knows he can zip that, he hangs on to it a little bit longer.
And it's always too late.
Bagent's throwing with anticipation.
Yes. And that's if you could, I know after that game, was it the Charger game, where Chris Collinsworth said, and I guess he got a lot of shit about it, that the Bears would love to see Fields do what Bagent's doing right now, releasing that ball quickly, because that is Fields' biggest problem, is reading that defense and really getting through that ball. And people got on him for saying that, but I'm sorry, I can't believe I ever would agree with Chris Collinsworth, but I did agree with him. Yes, if you could take that trait and put it in Justin Fields, the sky's the limit.
Yes. You could just merge the two together, right?
Exactly. It's like we just can't get that. Oh, I don't know why, and it's just so frustrating. But the bottom line is, I really thought that Justin would play tomorrow, but if he doesn't have the strength to hold on to the ball, he can't be in there. But we do need to get him back in there, because at the end of the day, the Bears still have to find out if he's the answer. We have to know by the end of this year. We can't go still wondering it in 2024. They have to know now. And so they do. So we do need them back. It's not really about the wins or losses at this point. Come on. We're not going to be 11-6, Dan, okay? Have you come to terms with that?
What's our record?
2-7.
You're right. We're not. If you would have said we were 2-6, I would have been like, there's still hope.
I mean, we really should be. We should have at least 2 wins more on there. We should be, definitely, but shoulda, woulda, coulda, we know. But it is, it's not about wins and losses anymore. Now we need to know what we have. We're starting to bring the lines together. It's taken a while. They're coming back. Injuries have killed us. What really hurt in that game last week, too, was we missed Brisker, because prior to that, he was playing lights out. He was all over that fucking field every game.
Mm-hmm.
And that guy was wide open on that last touchdown, which made it 24. Brisker's in there. That don't happen. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think you're right on that. Well said.
He was really, we missed him those 2 games. God, there were so many times I saw him behind the line of scrimmage. He's so fast. And he's really, really, really stepped up. So with our new addition, Sweet, am I saying it right?
Fuck no. You are not saying it right.
Okay. Are you shocked, people out there? Come on.
I'm watching your podcast. I wish I could just put my
98,
hand
and
through the
that's all I
screen
know.
and just smack you and go, no.
I'm like Sweet Sweat, whatever his frickin' name is. So
how do you spell sweet?
Well, I know it, but it can be pronounced
It's
differently.
W-E-E-T.
I know it, but this is W-E-A-T. I get that.
Oh, I love you, Lynn. It's Sweat.
It's Sweat. Okay, so Sweat.
We're gonna have to have like a Sunday night going over the names phone call with you before your Monday shows.
But you gotta admit, it probably makes people laugh. And
Oh,
right
God,
now,
it cracks me up. My favorite was Julius Johnson.
oh my God, I corrected it the next show. If you watch the next show, I was like, I am so embarrassed, because I went and listened, and I was like, Julius Johnson, Lynn. And oh God, I laughed so hard.
Jalen Johnson.
And so the next show, I did call myself out. I do admit when I'm wrong.
Oh, you're so adorable. I love it.
It was so funny. So anyways, with Sweat, we've got him. He did start to close that pocket last week, but I'd sure like to see him start to get some of the sacks. So
Yeah.
And we need to start tomorrow night, because this rookie, he has thrown interceptions, 7 or 8 of them already. And, he's young, so we got to fluster this kid. Got to get after him tomorrow night. We'll be home. That should help Bagent, because he did well when he played in Soldier Field before.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to make up for what happened on Sunday. And almost is kind of good to get the kid out there again to try to get that bad shit off, that bad juju, get him out there because Hadfield started this week. Now he's sitting on the bench for the rest of the year thinking about that game, right?
Yep. Jason UK Bear says we won't have such amazing draft capital for the foreseeable future, so we have to be sure about what we have by the end of this season. I was saying this to Lester last night on the PSF app.
100%.
I brought up the pontification of fuck it. Let's say we have the first and the third pick in the draft. Okay.
Mhm.
Why not just go Caleb Williams and draft a quarterback? I'm just pontificating. You know,
Okay.
let's say Caleb Williams becomes the next great quarterback in the league, right? And we had a chance, we passed up on him, and then we're sitting there with our dicks in our hand in 2 years going, well, fuck, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Okay, so why not just double down, draft Caleb Williams, have him sit behind Justin for next season? And this is not my idea. It's just an idea I'm putting out there.
You.
Let the quarterback sit behind Justin for a season, possibly even 2.
Well, Justin's only through next year.
But they can do a 5th-year option on him if they want.
No,
Not that you want to do that with
no, they don't. No, he wasn't the top 10. He was drafted on the 11th.
He's a first-round pick.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Top 10 is they automatic. Yeah. It's 5, right?
It's just a different monetary category.
Yeah.
The next 10 is another, and so on and so forth.
Could keep them, right?
Yeah. So they'll have him for this. What in an ideal world you'd want to re-sign him at the end of this season and not have to pick up the 5th-year option, because that's just going to leave a sour taste in any player's mouth. So you'd want to, in an ideal world, just hit him up with a big contract because he deserves it after the end of this year, or I'm sorry, next year after the end of his 4th season.
Right.
So
maybe.
Yeah. So if you're not sure by the end of this season, why not just draft a Caleb Williams, and then with the 3rd pick, draft the wide receiver, Marvin Harrison Jr., superstar, like better than Randy Moss probably coming out. We could have a 1-2 punch. Justin has that to work with. Let's see what he can do with an elite wide receiver, with 2 elite wide receivers, right? And if it doesn't pan out, then you have Caleb Williams ready to go.
And you could trade Justin or you just don't sign him for the 5th year, or you could
you could sign him for the 5th year and trade him, and then meanwhile Caleb Williams got to sit on the bench for that year,
which they used to do in the olden days. Remember that?
And by the way, this all has to happen with a new head coach, because if you're just going to
100%.
start over with a new offensive coordinator, you might as well just start over with a whole new.
Well, we need it. You know what? There's no way they're going to keep him. I mean, when I heard polls, what was it, last week? Oh, no, we're totally behind Flus, blah, blah, blah. Whenever they say that, well, in baseball, for sure, I've heard it. Oh, our manager, and the next day he's fired. Well, we know we can't fire him now because we have no other coaches, but you know, I don't think he's going to be around. They can't. No.
They need to get rid of this fucking shotgun offense and just go 2 wide receiver, 2 tight end set, 1 running back under center, and just you can take one of the tight ends and move him to a fullback, especially now that Blazing Game's injured. So you can move him to fullback if you need to. You can audible the play. Yeah. Keep the formation the same, so they don't know what you're running out of it.
Right. Was too obvious. I
mean, the shit out of this.
Yes. And he did run the ball last week. I'll give him credit. He don't get it more than he did the week before, which he should be, because Foreman, this guy's a beast. You watch this kid run, and he takes people with him. He does not stop. Whether he gets 3 or 10, he makes the defense pay for it. And if you keep running, especially in the second half, if we could ever have a lead going into the second half, you could run them and wear that defense down. But the problem is, Getsy, these stupid ass behind the line throws that he does all the time, or 2 yards. Everybody knows they're coming. Everybody. And if you're going to do that, then run the ball. If you're just going to do that, I don't get it. I'm certainly not an offensive coach. I get that. But come on. It's pretty obvious. So he's got to go. I mean, it's clear we need a new defensive head or coach because we don't have one. So they're going to have to replace that. And they're not keeping Getsy. And so Flus has got to go. Now, there's rumors, it's the Bears. There's no way they're going to hire Harbaugh, although I would be behind it because you said something that stuck with me. You said, yeah, he wants player control. I'd give him player control because whatever they're doing has not worked all these years. Okay.
Mhm.
But you said, okay, say maybe he does get a big head like people say he does and he wants more control and he starts. But if he takes me to a Super Bowl, I could care less.
Put the fucking crown on him and let's talk about him for the next 40 years.
Right, exactly. And then if you want to fire him, fucking go ahead. But we had a Super Bowl and we need one now. This team and this city need it badly.
Sorry, but sometimes when they have a big ego like that or whatever you want to call it, he's a big personality.
Mhm.
It's because it's warranted.
Yes.
So
yes,
he's the most obvious answer to me of all time for a Bears head coach. We are in like the worst down spiral of losses we've ever had.
We have nothing to lose.
We have tried and tried and tried and tried again since Hallis himself hired Ditka.
Yeah. No
we
shit.
We have a Ditka protege who loves him, who has apparently, I've heard many times before that Chicago is his dream job.
Well,
he's already gone and won and proven everywhere that he's been. He's gone to his alma mater. The only thing left on his bucket list is the fucking Bears. So if he's he's 57 years old.
Right.
If he's the head coach for the
next
10, 15 years.
Right. And
then he fades off into the twilight with 3 Super Bowls and he's surpassed Ditka as the coach that everyone talks about now.
And he could do it. He's turned around Stanford, 49ers, and Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And he's having problems because there's, the rumors that he's cheating. But so it's just like, just get him, Bears. And he wants to, he's played on the Bears. This guy actually, not many people even want to come to the Bears anymore.
He developed Colin Kaepernick into a quarterback that's better than Justin Fields now, even though he has half the fucking physical skills.
Shit. Yeah, all that guy could do was run. Let's face it.
We turned him into a passing quarterback somehow. Yes. That could run.
And that's it. You know what? The guy is proven, and he's going to make. And if you get him, people are going to want to come to the Bears again. These high-priced guys are going to say, "Yeah, I'll come there because he's there," and he makes them accountable. He makes people accountable. He'll grab them by the shirt like Ditka did, and be like, "What the hell?" Right?
Mm-hmm.
So. I don't understand. It has to be a slam dunk. I don't get, in his contract, the Michigan contract is, if the Bears approach me with the job, the contract's null and void. It's in there. It's in there.
Probably. It probably might be.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
He wants to be with the Bears. So that's in the contract. So that's not going to be a problem. So it's like, go fucking and get him. What do you got to lose?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Because we're just.
It's completely obvious to me. I wanted to get to this question I had earlier for what Cliff said, that Bears should have had Justin get the surgery on his thumb. He'd be just about recovered from it now. This, if anyone remembers, and if not, I'll tell you, Justin Fields broke that same thumb, and I think pretty sure it was his thumb that he broke in the final year of his high school season. So. There could be some kind of ligament issue that they don't want to do surgery on it with or something, because if it just was dislocated, they just want to give it the time to heal. That's my best case guess on that, Cliff.
Why they didn't go with surgery, right? Because he's right. Cliff's right. It would be about this time. But you're right. There's more. See, we don't know everything. They don't tell us everything.
Yeah. Do you want to have surgery on the same digit like that? Like, it's already. I know a friend who had surgery on her hand, and it she never had it. Just screwed up all the nerves and everything, and it was never the same. So
there's so many in that hand when you think about it. Yep. Just like your back, you don't want your back operated on if you're gonna help it.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about Bagent too is, I wanted to say, one reason he's so smart is because he's been starting since he was a junior in high school. Junior 2 years, and all 4 years he played a starter. Justin did not. He was only a starter 2 years at Ohio, correct?
2 years, yeah.
And because he came from Georgia and then he went to Ohio. So
You let her go, Judah. Bear down.
You got it.
Sorry to interrupt you. He's got a lot of games.
Yeah. So, but yes. So, yeah, I don't know. You know what? And I saw somebody say, also wrote, we don't need a defensive coordinator. Yes, we do. He said, because Flus is doing just fine. I don't know about that, but we do need a defensive coordinator. I mean, we do have the guy that is doing the prep work for us. He's scouting the other teams.
Phil Snow.
People forget that we hired that guy. So that's what he's been doing. And I think that's helped, a lot. But with the D line, really, the bottom line is I think that, they were just coming together. I mean, they look so bad, but now they're starting. And with Sweat there, maybe it can open up on a couple other guys to do something, and we can start to get that. And we got to get our backfield is absolutely fine. We might want to work on the linebackers a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. That's, they're very up and down, our linebackers.
Sanborn has been playing.
Lights out. I mean,
when you put him in the middle, man, he just shines.
I know. You know what? He really is. I mean, he's not the fastest guy in the whole world, but he is there and he tackles.
He's not top end speed fast, but he's
not side to side speed.
Space.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, but he's going to get there.
He plays with anticipation.
Yes.
So he makes up for it.
Yes, he certainly does. And speaking of linebackers, I'm going to just throw a little tidbit in there. Funny story. So I was in Fremont Street last Friday with some friends, and I went to the bathroom. I was coming out, and I saw these 4 guys sitting there around my age. And I'm like, I bet that they're having a reunion. Short, I went up, started talking to them, of course. Really cool guys. One of them was Brian Urlacher's father-in-law. And actually, they just got a divorce, but still father-in-law, the grandfather to his kids. And he says to me, so when he told me that, I'm like, oh, that's really cool, And he's like, so who do you think the best linebacker was on the Bears? And I said, and of course, I said the wrong thing. I didn't say Brian Urlacher. He goes, I'm going to tell Brian you said that. I said, all right. I mean, pretty sure I don't have to worry. But yeah, I said, it's Singletary and maybe Butkus and then Brian. I like Brian. It was really good, but they're all good because they're all in the hall.
Did you just put Singletary ahead of Butkus?
Well, I said right there. I said they're both equal. I said it's hard to say because different games. The 60s was different than the 80s playing, you know what I mean, and stuff. But they were right there. I said both of them. I said it was more of a tie for me.
Give me a pass on that.
And yeah, I mean, come on. And but yeah, he was not happy. So Brian, sorry, if you're out there, you're third. Okay, that's not bad, and you're in the Hall of Fame. So cry me a river.
He listens to this show, so I'm sure he'll. I'm sure he can.
Okay, well, on.
I'm sure he can agree with you on that.
I'm sure. And your father-in-law was very nice. Your ex-father-in-law, very, very nice man. They wanted me to party with him, but I couldn't. My friends were with me, and the wife wasn't going for it. So, darn it. I think one of them was single.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So anyways, I'm sorry. We need to get back. But yeah, so, it's, so whatever, what else has happened since we've talked? Okay, so we've talked about the games. Moore is really starting to step up. We're starting to see some passes. He's got over almost 700 or 800 yards. He's close.
Oh.
And Komet, well, he is just having a great. He's finally the tight end we signed and drafted. Don't you think?
Oh yeah, he's really ahead of schedule. He's ahead of schedule.
Yes, he is. Oh, he's so good.
Tight ends don't usually start developing really until right around now, and he's already.
Oh, he's there and
been developing. Statistically, he's been developing at a quicker pace than all the best tight ends in the league ahead of him right now. Like,
Well, they're saying his numbers are really approaching, and if he continues, he's going to be. You're going to hear his name, and then the quarterbacks love him. I mean, he's right there, and he can block, he can catch, so he is awesome.
Loving it, man. And not only were those 2 catches nice, but did you see the one where Kmet kind of went out on the block on the to the left for Bagent, but kind of screwed up the block, and the guy got to Bagent, so he kind of dumped it off to him. It wasn't really a screen pass. Yeah, but the way that he kind of threw it a little bit behind him, it was almost like a lateral pass. So he had to turn, and he just caught it so beautifully in stride, and then just kept turning, and then just boom up the field for like 12 yards. It was beautiful.
I know. It was beautiful. He missed the block. So it's like, okay, man, but he was there for his quarterback. He didn't stop playing, and sometimes they do. And that's the problem with our, I've seen a lot of teams don't have that problem. We do, but they're getting better, these guys, where they are paying more attention to what's going on. So, because especially with Bagent in there, they're thinking we got to help this guy out, which, okay, that's great. But you got to think that way when Justin's in there too.
Exactly.
Be available. Come back to the ball if he's running around for his life. Come back, get open. A lot of times you can get open again because the guys, the defenders down here, you go run for him, he can help them out. They haven't been doing that. They've done it for Bagent, but I haven't seen them do it for Fields. And these receivers have to start helping him out as well. Just my opinion.
You are 100% correct.
Yeah, I mean, so.
Jason Case did a breakdown of that point you're making about Kmet. He is a stellar. He's on a stellar career trajectory.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, it's the same things should apply to both quarterbacks. Hey, listen to me. I got your back this game.
Exactly.
Just hit me up.
Right. I'll be open. I'll get open. Somehow I'm going to be there. Just trusting me. And that's what they got to do. You got to have this. You got to have that trust. And I just don't know if Fields feels it. You know what I mean? There's something, I don't know. Just can't put my finger on it. And I think that's everybody. We don't know why he hasn't gone to that next step.
It's like a tick almost. It's like I've seen it do it in practice when he's throwing to receivers, just running routes with nobody guarding anyone and nobody in his face. It's just receivers running routes where he drops back, he goes to throw it, and he pauses for a second, and then he throws it. It's like,
you don't need to do that, especially in practice, pal.
Throw him in stride, man. Throw it to a spot that he's catching up to him. Throw him open. And that's, I think, what he's doing too much in the games is that he's trying to throw it to the spot the guy is going to be at, like while he's there, rather than throw it to him before he gets to it.
That's it. You see these other good quarterbacks, and I watch it in football, and they show it. See, when he let go of that ball, he wasn't even there yet, and that's where Justin's got to do that. You would think that they would sit this kid down and show him film, and somebody standing behind him and going, "Throw it,
exactly."
Throw it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that he could see what he did. You should have thrown it now.
Or take the exact same plays that Bagent and him have run and put them side by side on the film and watch the difference in look at how quick the ball came out here. This is how this has to happen. I've said this before, like, why can't Justin learn from Bagent?
Well, exactly. And that was my point about on that Sunday night game when Collinsworth said it, people got all over his ass. You shouldn't have said that. Why? It's true. Well, I mean, we're not here to, sorry if your feelings get hurt, Justin, but guess what? This is the fucking NFL. You're making a lot of money, and we want to win. Mm-hmm. And that whoever just said it, yes, Justin Fields does need to play. We were talking about that earlier. You probably weren't listening to the show, but we agree, Dan and I, that he needs to get out of that field to find out
Let's not even compare him and Tyson Bagent anymore, okay? Let's compare him and CJ Stroud of the Texans. They both played for the same school. They threw to the same receivers. They're both, top picks. CJ Stroud was higher than Justin, but look at that. What?
He's really waking up, isn't he?
470 yards and 5 touchdowns. Are you kidding me?
I know.
And when you watch that game,
who was it against?
I
I
Tampa
can't
Bay?
remember. Oh,
Tampa
yes,
Bay,
it
I
was
think.
Tampa Bay. It was Tampa
Yeah.
Bay. So it was a decent team, right?
The
So
ball just comes
I
out of
know.
and the
See,
guy is right in stride, bam.
I
know.
that's why it frustrates me with Justin, because we know he's an awesome athlete. There's just no doubt about that. No one questions that. It's that he can't release the ball quick enough, and then he gets happy feet, and then forget it. And it's just, I don't know. Maybe you can't change that in somebody. Maybe he just doesn't have it. I don't know. Well, you don't want to see Bagent start again. Well, he is my friend. They've already said Bagent starting tomorrow night. Justin's not 100%. And if he can't grip the ball,
you don't want to risk further injury.
No, of course not, because we do need to see him. So if we wait another week, so what?
Mayhem, you've seen, plenty of shows with me saying all this shit. And when you came in earlier, I had been talking about, just the same things I've talked about with Bagent. It's not that listen, we all want Justin Fields to fucking succeed, but he has to succeed. He has to succeed.
Right. We all want, there's nothing more than everybody in that state of Illinois and Bears fans around the country want more. It's not like he's a shithead and we don't want him to, right? He's not a tool like that guy's
Cutler?
name. Cutler, thank you. He's not a tool like Cutler. He's a good guy, and
he's got mad skills that they
Yes.
need to be refined, and he has to just get rid of the fucking ball quicker, man. Period.
I know.
Period.
I don't know how many times we can say it, and I can't believe the Bears are pounding that in his head too. But Getsy don't get it. God knows what that man's saying to him.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse
me. I've been trying to think of a new word because you keep saying Getsy don't get it, and
I know.
I know what you mean, but it needs to be like one word. Like
I know it does. Like Getsy.
Like no Getsy. Oh yeah, no Getsy.
Oh yeah, no Getsy. I like that one. Yeah. Okay.
No Getsy.
No Getsy. I'll start that. Yeah. No Getsy.
Yeah.
Oh, I like
no
that.
Getsy.
I can really get my hands. No Getsy. You know what I mean? I can really get mad. You know what? The thing about Bagent too is when I did my show on Monday, I even said it. I said, if Fields had done that, my blood pressure would be up to here. My face would be red. I'd be screaming. I said, I don't know why I'm not. Over at Bagent, there's something about this kid. I just couldn't get on his ass. I mean, he called himself an embarrassment out there. So,
yeah,
but I was like, I even said on the show, I don't know why I'm not mad. I mean, I was, but not to the extreme like the Denver game when, Justin Fields gave that fucker away. And I was just livid. But so I don't know what it is. Maybe I don't know. It's
the defense gave that game away. It was just that they couldn't get another score, just like they couldn't this past game with Bagent. So that's where it all comes down to no Getsy.
No Getsy. And that's for sure. He is, he's doing these guys no favors. So,
Cliff's been saying it for the last two chats. Like, oh, so it all comes back to Getsy. Yeah, it all comes back to no Getsy.
No Getsy is right. And you know what? You hire Harbaugh, he's going to get coaches on that team that know what they're fucking doing. I don't want no first time. You know what? I know people want what's that guy from the Lions, the offensive coordinator. They want him. And I'm like, you know what? Right now, I don't want a new coach that's never coached in the NFL. You know what? I know everybody deserves it, but go to somebody else, learn, and then maybe later. It just hasn't worked with the Bears. I mean, come on. We gave Nagy a try. We gave Flus a try. Terrible. And that idiot Tressman. We gave them all tries at head coaches, right? And they look what they've done. What have they got together? How many wins? Not many, I bet. I mean, so I don't know. It's very frustrating. And it's
more than frustrating. It's like it's sickening. I don't even know.
Sickening.
You come out with this awesome game plan this week, and then the next week you go back to the worst game plan that you had of the season.
Yes.
And then you have, a great game plan against the Raiders, and then even though the Raiders suck, but still better. They pounded the ball down their throats, and then you come back with a shit show of a game plan the next week against the
That's
Chargers.
how they are. It's just you don't know what they're. Oh, and I gotta say,
Is there a
I
fucking
don't know if I
A-bot?
saw this right. What?
Is there like an AI machine that's running this for Getsy and it's just like, oh, I think that you need to go with this one?
That wouldn't surprise me at all with that idiot. You know what I mean? But I will say from the last game, I got to say this because I just popped my head, and I don't know if I really saw it or not. But did I see DJ Moore blocking for Jones?
Yes, you did. Your eyes saw that.
I agree with this. Yes. I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Why is Jones even on the team? And how dare you have DJ Moore block for that idiot? I mean, when is Cole going to admit he made a mistake?
I lost my train of thought because I was reading chat, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
I'm sorry. No, we got to go to because that was a good. You got to bring that one back up. That chat.
Yeah, let's read that.
Just popped in my mind, and I was like,
Jason UK
right,
says,
okay.
says this is what worries me too. We're trying to build a team while letting coaches learn their jobs.
Yes.
I want coaches to know what they're doing and play to the strengths of their players. Yes.
Jason, right on, Jason UK. Yes.
Yes.
100%. And that's what I'm saying. Even my son's like, oh, I want this guy. Go, no. You know what? We've done that. We got to have somebody who really, really knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
I
like what Robbie's saying here too. Let a new rich person in this family try. Is there a young McCaskey that cares? I've thought the same thing, right? Where's the grandson that's like, no, I don't want to sell this team so I can get my $200 million. I want to fucking run
want a
this
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We're the Chicago Bears. We were at one time one of the elite. Even when we didn't win a lot, they still considered them a top team because the organization now, I don't get what's going on. There's just, there's 2 coaches fired in their season because of HR issues. What are you looking at? Child porn on the laptop? Come on, man.
Right. I mean, even if it was on their phone using their Wi-Fi.
It's not even George McCaskey. It's, it's all of the McCaskies. You know what? They just can't figure it out. I don't get it.
Robbie, George McCaskey needs to resign to the office that has nothing to do with football and has all to do with the numbers. And George McCaskey needs to sit back and just approve numbers and let Kevin Warren run this team. If Kevin Warren says, I want to fire everybody and bring in Jim Harbaugh, or Kevin Warren says, I want to stick with what we have here for another season, just let it ride. Don't have your own opinion on it. Just let it go. Well, and whether you are a fan or not, like we all are, and we would disagree with keeping this coaching staff. If Kevin Warren decided whatever the fuck he wants to do, he does. Right. You just approve the money, George, and see what happens. Don't have any opinion whatsoever other than wins or losses from a fan perspective. Period.
And he could be the face. He can go out and, like he does, interact with the fans and this and that. You want to do that? That's great. He's a very nice gentleman. He's good at that. Let him do that, right? Mm-hmm. And then but is Warren, Warren, they're so worried about this new fucking stadium. I'm getting tired of that too. You know what? You better start winning because no one's going to feel your new stadium. And then what are you going to do? So Warren has got to step in and start making decisions. Now, we don't know. Maybe he is. But the fact that he came from the Big Ten has got to be in Jim Harbaugh's favor, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's got to be. So I'm just praying that, Jim, I know he wants total control, but Poles could still do other stuff, but Jim can be in charge of who he drafts and who he doesn't. And actually, he should. Coaches should, because let's face it, they're the one teaching these kids.
Well, they just need to let Ian Cunningham, assistant general manager, leave, go become a general manager somewhere
else,
and then give Jim Harbaugh the assistant title.
Let Poles just do right.
And him and Poles work together hand in hand about the players that he needs on the team.
I mean, if you and I can figure this out, I mean, seriously, I don't get it. I don't get it. Well, yeah, the GM's learning too. You're right. We had a new GM, but I mean, he's done a fairly good job. Except for maybe hiring who he hired as the coach, but you know,
He's not gonna nail everything. I mean, Poles has done an exceptional job. He took
he did
5
better than the last one. So,
the first season. He turned 5 picks into like 12 or 13,
he sure did.
and he got a couple of starters out of there last season that were
Yes, he
pretty
did.
good, and
Yep.
they built on it. Braxton Jones.
Backfield, he got right. So, I mean,
This season he got. I think Stevenson is a fucking baller, man. At quarterback for a rookie, he's playing really well. Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker, they've had injury history, but you can't, you're not drafting players because you think they might or might not get injured unless they have an injury history in college.
Right, but they didn't. This just happened. Right. I mean,
so he's done it. He's got a bookend right tackle for the next however many years.
he's got a running game. He keeps drafting these good running backs.
You can't predict
Foreman. I mean,
you can't predict that Nate Davis's mother is going to pass away and cause him heart, grief and pain. It's hard for people. Everyone handles death differently, especially their parents. So
right. It's like Bagent says, football isn't first for him. It's family, faith, and football. And that's how it is. They are people too. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I just think if you're going to go with a new hire, Poles deserves a second head coaching chance because I think that I don't think he really had a choice with Flus, to be honest. If I'm just going to give my opinion on it,
a lot of people think that, right? Too, Dan. I think there's a lot of people that think he didn't, but this time, him and Warren have to sit down and say, this is what it has to be. I agree with you. I think he kind of.
Knowing our team, and that's what I don't want. I don't want any of that from McCaskey. Is what I'm saying.
No,
keep your fucking nose out of it and just go over and just take care of the money side of things. Approve and disapprove money. That's it.
Let Warren do what you hired him to do.
Yep.
Right.
That's
what they have to do.
You worked hand in hand with Ted Phillips for how long? And neither of you knew what the hell you were doing. You kept having to get consultants. So you got your guy, let him do it, see what happens.
That's again, you got nothing to lose at this point, like you say with Harbaugh. And you're right, Cliff. He has done more good than bad. Absolutely 100%. So, what is this guy? Should be the next head coach, and Michael Vick. Oh, good Lord.
Greg Roman should be the next offensive coordinator for the Bears, and Michael Vick should be the next QB coach.
No. I don't know about Michael Vick.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not a big fan. Sorry.
I'm not a big fan either, but everyone deserves a second chance, and he's taken advantage.
They do. And he's on one of the shows, isn't he? I'm almost sure he's on some NFL show now. Well, look at the idiot in Cleveland. He got a second chance and then some. I don't know how he did. But
you're right about Greg Roman, though. I think if Harbaugh does come here, Greg Roman's probably his obvious choice.
Yeah, I thought he meant as head coach. I was like, no, but an OC, yes, yes, I could do that.
Sure.
Yes. But we just need to get Harbaugh first. Could be a head coach if he brings in a defense. No, we don't want Flus.
Yeah.
No, we're done. And his press conferences. Somebody wrote about him earlier in one of the chats. He's terrible press conference. Terrible. I thought Nagy was bad. This guy's pretty much right up there with Nagy. Really terrible. Although he doesn't wear a visor with a bald head, but
yeah, and I have to wear visors in the summer, and that motherfucker destroyed that for me.
Kind of did. I know it.
I wore a visor on a show because I was in Florida and didn't have a hat there. All I had was a visor, and everyone was tearing on me in chat for it.
I'm sure they were.
I even knew who the fucking Matt Nagy was.
I know, but he ruined it, didn't he?
It did. Yeah. He did. I can't wear a hat in the summer. My head's too hot.
Haunting you, right?
Yeah. Fucking asshole.
I know.
In fact, you know what? That requires one of these.
I'm not even going to get into that. I have zero thought.
Fucking asshole.
He is. He really, really is.
He's not that great down there. The last game against the Dolphins, they only had 2 offensive touchdowns. It was a defensive.
They have not been scoring offensively much. They've been, their defense is what's been winning these games for them. They have some issues. There's no doubt about it. And having him,
Jason UK. LOL, you learned an English swear word, shorty. Ha ha ha. I got that from Chris Watts, my bro diggity that just came into the US to see 2 games with me. I hung
And
out.
Obviously he's not coming on, so we should talk about that.
Yeah, let's make fun of him right now while he's in chat.
Yeah. Oh, there he is.
Yeah. I'll show you what he said. He said, "Hey Dan, Lynn, really sorry I missed the show. I had fallen asleep in front of the TV. Idiot." And I said, "Wanker."
You are a wanker, but the show's not over, Chris. You gotta jump on, or we're gonna tell the story without you. We've been waiting.
Yeah, we were saving the story for when you hopped on. I mean, everyone probably knows it by now, but
well, I don't know. Not everybody. I mean, I've told as many people as I can. I said I got my 10 seconds of fame in that article.
And they didn't mention anyone's podcast or anything.
Well,
so.
I knew he wasn't gonna. I just had this feeling when we got ripped off on the morning show, and then this, I thought, you know what, no one's gonna do any of that. You know what, and that's kind of unfortunate. But I said the last time my name was in the newspaper was when I was in high school and we won the softball championship. That was the last time my name was in the newspaper. So, and that was 1975. Most of you people weren't even born.
I think mine was like 1987.
When you got mentioned in the newspaper?
Yeah.
Where, in school?
It was in school. I drew a political cartoon that won like a contest.
Oh, cool.
So they put me in the paper.
Yeah, see? So that was the last time I was like, my one friend said, well, it might have been a short little sentence, but it did not go unnoticed. He actually blocked your little paragraph by itself. I said, okay, I guess he did.
It was really cool to see the picture of Chris and I and
yes,
see myself on the Bears website.
Yes.
Pretty cool.
Very cool. I mean, you guys,
very good story too.
I mean, you got to do the flag. You were on Soldier Field. Oh, I've always wanted to step foot on that. And it's like, oh man, you were so lucky. It was pretty cool. I mean, you guys got some really cool shit. You really did, and I'm glad. We
were on the field. We waved the flag on the field.
I mean, how cool is that?
That was awesome.
You got mentioned in an article that was on the website. That's pretty cool. I mean, we wanted them to do our shows, but obviously they don't do that because then people would be on their ass to do it all the time, right?
Right.
So they just can't, but it was a very cool thing. I mean, I told so many people about this and they're like, well, why weren't you there? And I said, because I live in Vegas. And I said, I didn't have a ticket. And they said, well, I'm sure they would have found you a ticket. And I said, well, maybe not. I said, but it costs money to fly there and back. And I just went to New York for a wedding a couple weeks earlier, and that was very expensive. So it was like, I just couldn't do it. But I said, you know what? I didn't do it. Oh, you're welcome, Chris. I just wanted to make you guys happy. I didn't, know what was going to happen, if anybody at all would have even responded, but they did. So
it felt like nobody was going to, and all of a sudden, it's kind of a week or two.
It was the week before that, and then it all just fell into place. It was just like, because he called me the Wednesday before that game. And then I turned him on to you, and then you went on the morning show. We know that Friday, which you didn't. You were promised, but you didn't. That was shitty. Channel 32 lied, but what are you going to do, right? But you got interviewed, you got your pictures, and you got to be on the field. I mean, how cool is that?
It was amazing.
Yeah, that was the best. And then you guys, I said to Dan, when I found out he was going to be on the field, I was pissed. I'm like, shit. Now I'm mad because I've always wanted to be on the Chicago Bears field. I said to him, so grab a clump of grass and send it to me. So he sends me a picture a few days later when he got home. Oh, there it is.
It's in the envelope.
Backyard.
It's in the envelope. Oh, no, it's not. It's in the envelope. Do you really want it? I'll mail it to you.
When you sent the picture, I said to my friend, that's from his backyard.
No, it wasn't. I promise you, it wasn't. I put it in that little pocket, in my jeans, like the little coin pocket,
Right,
I just grabbed it. I tried to grab like three different times. I grabbed a little bit, but it all just kind of disintegrated in my pocket. So there's just like a little bit left.
Well, and my favorite picture, which most people didn't get because I'm your friend, and somebody sent it to me. You sent it to me. Somebody took it. You two were passed out on the train after that Raiders game. You were back on the train, and you were both.
I kept Chris nice and drunk his entire stay. We had a
Oh,
blast.
I bet you did. Well, no
And
wonder he
high.
wants to move here. Oh, he said, I kissed the field, Lynn. You did, Chris? Good. I would
Yeah.
do it too. What I would have done is laid on it and done like snow angels.
Uh-huh. I really wanted to like run on it and practice being tackled.
Oh, I bet they wouldn't let you, right? Did they like restrict where you could stand and stuff?
They took us out there so early, like we were just the flag. It was awesome because Chris and I were on the ends of the flag, not the long ends, but the short ends.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone that was on the long ends had to stand there. They had to. It was all rolled up, balled up, and they all had to like carry it out on the field and stand there for like 15 minutes with it in their arms. And Chris and I are just like walking around, waving to the fans and
Nice.
looking at the looking at the field, and it was totally awesome.
That's so cool. That's something you're never gonna forget. So that's I mean, for that alone, it was worth it. I mean, that's just great. I mean,
oh, I forgot to tell you this, Lynn. You know White Claws, right?
Do I know what?
You know what a White Claw is?
The drink?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a seltzer drink.
Yes, right.
So I had White Claws at my uncle had White Claws at his house. So I handed him one when we first got there, and he didn't know it was an alcoholic beverage. He just thought it was like a seltzer.
Yeah, right. Like pop or something, right?
Yeah. So it was like the first night he's like taking half of his to bed with him. I was like, "You sure you don't want a water?" He's like, "No, I got this." I'm like, "Okay, that's a little strange." Like the next day, it's like 11 o'clock in the morning. He's cracking a White Claw. It's like, damn, I guess we're getting started early, you know?
Yeah.
It was like 6 days later. He was like, damn, are you going to have a drink tonight, Shorty? I'm like, this got 5% alcohol in it. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? That's the entire time he thought it was water. He's like drinking White Claws like he thinks they're water.
Dork. Loser. No way.
Oh, just hilarious.
Well, I know you guys partied hard because when you got home, you were cashed.
Oh yeah, we were all. Took me a week to get over that too. I'm sure like it had. I didn't have the jet lag either.
Oh, yeah, well, you had to drive all that, but yes,
Yeah.
and Jason, UK, I do too. Before this, that's the thing. They're going to be leaving in what 5-6 years. There's not going to. I would love, maybe I'll get there. We'll see. I don't know, but I'm just glad that you guys got that. You know what? Really, I had a lot of people say, you know what, you did it, and you didn't get anything out of it. And I said, well, that's the idea. I said, it's nice.
You got the enjoyment out of it.
I did. I got the enjoyment, and that's what more people need to do in this country is just do things just to be nice.
Right.
And if everybody did that, we'd be a lot better off. I'm just saying.
We would be.
And Chris, you're not an idiot. You're just a dork. Okay, there's a big difference.
It looks like we have to start a GoFundMe now for Jason UK to get out of here.
I just saw that. I think he's hinting at that, don't you?
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. So what do you think about tomorrow night? Because we're going to get kind of long here.
Yeah, we are. I'm thinking they better win, and if they don't win, I want a tie. A tie would be perfect.
No, absolutely not. A tie? What the hell?
Nobody
tie
wins.
was a loss in the NFL.
No, it's not a win. But it's not a loss either.
No. People, I want to win. Ignore the guy on the other side here. How could I do that? Ignore that guy. There you go. Hey, I got the whole screen. No, I want to win. And I want to win a believable win. I really want to see they got to go again. As I've been saying all season, pretty much, every player on that team has to play smart football from beginning to end, do their best, individual best. If they do that, don't get the penalties like they did last week. We can't have 8 and no more turnovers. Let's get the turnovers on the other side. We'll get the turnovers on defense. and start fast like you did last week, because you played a great game until those turnovers in the second half. I mean, if you erase that, it was a good game. But the Bears just try to start fast, finish the game, and like I said, everybody has to play smart individual football.
Yes.
The Lions have to show up. Everybody has to show up. So we're at home. There's no excuse. I know it's a night game, which is going to suck, but let's show this country that we're really not that bad. That's what I would like.
So then what is your score prediction?
See, I'm not good at that. You know that. But I will say, okay, we scored 17 last week. We should have scored more, that's for sure. I'm going to say 24-14.
Oh, excellent. I predicted 21-10, so we're close.
Oh, we're very close. Right. So if we walk away with that, I'll be very happy. I mean, they are worse than us. So please, we have to win this game. I don't care about draft picks and all that shit. I want to win.
I want to win too.
It's been enough. Okay.
It's been enough.
It has been enough. It has been rough. And like you and I have to do these shows and you're trying to, I feel like I have to keep people positive on the Bears. I'm trying,
It's hard.
It's hard. Last year was easier because we had all these promises. So we thought, okay. So we got through last year. And now we're sitting in the same fucking position we were. Well, we're better than we were last year. But we haven't put it together. All the pieces have not played. Each week we got this, the defense having a great game, but then the offense sucks, or the offense is great and the defense sucks. We haven't had all of them except for special teams. Except for he did miss one last week, but it didn't make any difference. We lost by 7, not 3. It has been like that all year. We haven't put the whole thing. And last week started out like we did. And it was all working. And I thought, oh, my God, they're playing a real NFL game.
I know.
And then the bottom fell out. So we can't have that this week against Carolina. We have to go in there. And if we have to embarrass them, I don't care. I want a W.
I want a W too.
So that's what you've heard here, people. Okay. So it's going to happen.
Mayhem saying, if the Bears lose, I want Flus and Getsy fired Monday morning, and then maybe what they do is hire Hightower, hire the special teams coordinator to finish out the season.
It won't happen. It will
not
not happen. He would have, if they were going to do that, they would have done it a few weeks ago on some of the calls he made.
Yeah, we're riding this season out, guys. We're in this shit together.
We are in this shit together. So just watch Dan and I. Dan has his shows. I have my YouTube show. We will tell you what's going on, and we will make you laugh while we do it.
Seriously, at least that's the goal, is to make you laugh, because we're trying to keep it from crying for one thing.
Yes.
So
we don't want anybody jumping out their window or anything like that. So
no, we definitely do not want that.
No. So,
but if you love the Bears and you love to talk about the Bears, these are the best places to go.
That's right. Dan and Lynn.
BCP, you guys, we see you guys everywhere. You guys, we know that you do. See you in everyone's chats. Jason, Mayhem, Ravi, Cliff.
Yes, I don't get chats because I do YouTube. So that's okay. I like that. So, but both of our shows are going to tell you the truth, and we're going to make you laugh along the way.
We're going to make you laugh. That's for damn sure.
Keep following us. You got nothing else to worry about.
And listen, this is not easy. Like, I do a Monday show with Dan Aguirre. I do a Tuesday show on PSF with Lester. I do a Wednesday show with you when we can. I do the Thursday show with my guys. Tomorrow I'm doing the PSF app with Lester. So we're doing the live game cast on there. So check me out there if you guys are so inclined. And then it's back to starting all over again. So it's not easy to sit here and talk about this team, and it's not easy for you guys to you guys are taking your time out to come out here and hang out with us. So We really, really appreciate that. It shows your love for the Bears and shows your love for kind of needing some therapy. I think we can offer that at least,
I think so.
any one of us can. So
I think so.
we appreciate you guys.
You know that I'm going to screw up a name every show, so you can always tune into that and see what she's going to call everybody.
Julius Johnson in place of Jalen Johnson was my favorite one of all time.
Johnson was his name, and I call him Julius.
Oh, I also love when you were like, "Oh, I'm on this I'm on Wednesdays. I'm on the country podcast."
Oh my God, I couldn't say it at one time.
It's a Bears podcast.
I was
Bears
laughing.
Country Podcast. Are you fucking kidding me?
I was like, "Oh my God." My brain is so pickled sometimes. Oh, God.
Oh, that's why I love you, Lynn.
Oh, well, I love you too, my friend. And we just have fun. And I just like to have fun. I'm not perfect, and I don't even pretend to be. Okay.
Nope, not at all.
Not at all. You see what you get.
All right, guys. We will see you tomorrow night on BCP with Foster in the group for a pregame. And then
we'll be back next Wednesday.
And then I'll be on the PSF app, the mobile app with Lester Wiltfong Jr., doing the game cast, and then from there we're going to come back onto BCP onto this channel and do the post-game press conference with you guys. We hope to see you there. Until then, hopefully, Lynn, hopefully we can see you in 2 weeks after your surgery, because I'm not even going to.
Oh yeah, that's right. We won't be back next Wednesday because I'll be that'll be the second day after the surgery. Third day, no, I won't be back next Wednesday, but I will be a show. You'll see me on Friday for my show. And then the following Friday, I hope to be back. But I'll be back in 2 weeks with Dan for sure.
I hope so, because I'll be counting the days.
Oh, I will. I will, my friend.
All right, well, let's get out of here on a 1, 2, 3 Bears. Ready? 1, 2, 3
Bears!